Hello, everyone. And today is episode 2 of our Q&A. But there's a twist today. We are not doing our usual Q&A. Today we celebrate us. This month, Diana and I share our birthdays in May. So today's live session is all about celebrating us. We'll be sharing what our birthdays signify to each of us and how we honor this occasion every year. Join us as we explore the significance of birthdays and share tips on making your own celebration memorable. Get ready for a live discussion that's sure to inspire excitement and help you discover maybe unique ways to celebrate yourself.
Oh,
Let's get started. I'm excited for this one.
that's beautiful, Natasha. And it seems like we were surrounded with a lot of people who are celebrating May birthdays. So we've decided to dedicate this to those who are celebrating May birthdays, and people are celebrating their future birthdays, and hope that you get something out of this for your personal way of processing your own birthday. So I'm curious to know though, like since your birthday is tomorrow, what has been your process of celebrating your special day?
Let me start with this story so it makes sense where it all began. For me, my birthdays, in my family, we always loved celebrating birthdays. It was always there was always a party, and that kind of built up this expectation that birthdays has to be super special. So I've had these whole lot of expectation on my family members, and when the expectations were not met, I'd be really, really sad. And it so happened that every year I would be sad on my birthday, every single year. And it began 2 years ago when, as usual, expectations were not met. I didn't get any presents and there was nothing special done. And I was sad. I was crying. So I stood in front of this mirror and I cried and I cried, but I looked at myself in the mirror and I could feel this person in the mirror talking to me. And it said, "Is this how you want to spend your birthday? What do you want? What are you crying about? Tell me, what is it you want?" And I said, "I really want to feel special. I want to go out. I want to be celebrated." And the voice said, "Let's do it. Let's go out. Do what you want to do. Where do you want to go?" And it almost felt like a friend, a best friend telling me, "You know what? We've got each other. Let's do it. And this way, you will never feel like you've missed out on your birthday." I dressed up, put a nice dress on, put my makeup on, and off I go. That was the beginning. And every year since those 2 years, I tend to spend my birthday, I do a date with myself.
Mm.
I go out, it could be to a coffee shop, or I would go shopping, or I would go to a park and just sit with myself. But I really take the time, when I sit with myself, I take the time to reflect on what's happened throughout the year. How have I grown? What were the challenges I faced in that year? What were the successes I've had during that year? Who were the people who came in my life during that journey, who helped me grow? What were the lessons I've learned from them? And I do this reflection while I'm out. And, it's a beautiful reflection because you start remembering, you go back into those memories, you remember so many people. And I say a prayer for them. a prayer of gratitude to all these people who came in my life. And I send a prayer and a blessing for them because they've blessed me.
Mm. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's how I celebrate me. How do you celebrate you, Diana?
And I don't think a lot of people actually, celebrate birthday in that way. And I fully understand that birthdays haven't always been a source of joy and acknowledgement for many people, or even people usually look at it as a burden, right? Including myself. I mean, in the past, for years, I treated my birthday like any other day. I wasn't really celebrated as a child during my birthday. So there are so much unhealed wounds that I'm still working on to this day. However, like slowly, I'm recognizing that it is within my power to redefine how I want to celebrate my life and share that with people that I care about. Especially that moment I share with other people is very special because it's significant, because I include every parts of me during those moments. So I see it as a chance to honor myself. It can be joyful, even if they haven't been before. It's about changing how we think and using the time for positive reflection. And I love that when you go to the park. And it's not always easy for a lot of us because again, we reflect also some of those sad moments because, life is demanding. And often we leave our dreams, tucked away in our wish buckets and then never acting on them. And often this can lead in resentments, regrets, and sadness. And we realize that time has passed, right? And then we didn't prioritize our own needs and happiness. I've learned, though, that growing older is not just about the passage of time. I think we all need to realize that it's about how we choose to live each moment, like embracing new experiences and nurturing meaningful connections instead of fixating on external markers of age. We can be overwhelmed by limitations of time, and we're running out of time and regret about what we didn't do last year, and then we marinate in those heavy emotions, and then we look at our birthdays another year to another year that we didn't do the things that we wanted to do. So I think we can be inspired to focus on engaging in the present moment and cultivating a life filled with meaning and purpose instead of engaging in those regrets that we have had in our lives. I think for those who feel anxious about birthdays and the passing of time, it's about how we choose to live each moment. So it's important to remember that every day offers a new opportunity to start fresh, right? So birthdays can be a source of anxiety because they remind us of the goals we haven't yet achieved, or the time that seems to slip away because of life demands. However, they can also be a time to celebrate our progress, no matter how small they are, and set a new realistic ones and realistic intentions. So how do you set your intentions during your birthday?
I journal them.
Mm.
I like to journal them, and that journaling itself can take you into this different world, which is so beautiful. And it could even spark some sadness. While you were talking, I realized something, that for years I expected other people in my life to buy me presents, to buy something for me, to make me feel special. And I always found myself not being able to buy anything or treat myself. I couldn't do it. Someone else had to do it for me to feel special. I I just couldn't imagine myself going out and buying something or doing something for myself. It just felt more sad.
Mm.
And I could imagine that many people must feel this way. that they're not worthy, or almost like I felt that I can't do that for myself. Someone else should be doing it. What do you think about that?
It's very normal to feel that way because again, this is a part of us that is unhealed, and that little kid in us want our parents to make us feel special, correct those the moments where when we weren't recognized or acknowledged that this is a special day. You were born in this moment. This is the moment of your birth. You have taken your first breath. And I think there's a part of us that's always looking for those connections that we've had with our parents. And when it doesn't happen, we try to relive those moments in our present time. And based on my own experience, I've had similar experience where I won't communicate how I wanted my birthday to look like, and I just expect everybody to know how to do them. And of course, we have our own perceptions and experience on how we celebrate our own birthdays. And so when we put that expectation on other people, that's how disappointment happens. It's a silent expression of yourself, and it comes back as disappointment because there was no communication between what you needed, how you want to be treated, and how you want to be acknowledged. Birthdays are really, really difficult for me for a very long time. And I have a lot of work, like inner work, to do around birthdays. It's a traumatic event for my life, and I have gone through a lot of therapy, acknowledging my existence in this world, and through a process of finding my self-worth, empowering myself to decide that I too have the right at the seat of the table, and that I have the right to take the space in this world. I used to never take space. I used to be so quiet. It's hard to believe now, but it's I used to be so a person in the background. I would shut down everything as soon as I become in the limelight. And it's because every time my birthday comes, I felt like I was a burden. I felt like I was in a nuisance, because my parents didn't really want me to exist in this world. So I lived my life thinking that nobody really loves me, nobody really care about me, and nobody really want to hear what I have to say. And so as a child, growing up, having that perception about your world, there's always that emptiness, that hole in our hearts that we try to fill in, because because we try to heal those wounds without knowing how to do them. So for me, every year, it was like a reminder that I wasn't wanted. It was a reminder that I wasn't cared for, or it's a reminder that I wasn't connected to anything, to anyone, especially with my parents. And so through therapy and introspection, like what you do in the park, you go in there, just reflect on your life. I was able to develop a way to come back to myself, to stop correcting people's mistakes that they have done, because they were doing the things in those moments based on their own perception of their world. And that I am old enough to step up and give the very thing that the adults around me was not able to give to me. So I give the love that was missing. And through my meditations, I do them. I think when we start to empower ourselves, that it's our happiness and our completeness, it no longer or dependent on other people's actions. We don't have to wait anymore, right? We don't have to make them guess anymore, because we can step up and say, this is how I want my birthday to look like, and this is the people that I want to invite. And you communicate yourself clear enough, so then there's no, you're not setting up your family members to fail. You're not setting up yourself to feel disappointed. So you break the pattern of your previous experience and create a new empowering ones. And then you pass that on to your kids. And then your kids see you as happy. It's the most beautiful gift that you can give to yourself when you work on yourself, when you break the pattern of your trauma, your sadness, and your negative limiting beliefs. And when they see you, that how you celebrate yourself, how you put yourself out there, and taking leadership in your own life, and then your kid sees that, and they will think that this is how you celebrate birthdays. I don't know any other way. My mom or my dad has always been, there for us, celebrating birthdays. Gifts were not important, because it was more of a connection of your heart to heart, and acknowledging that you exist in this world for a reason, and we want you, like you are wanted. And so when we feel that towards ourselves, then we can pass that on to our kids.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Listening to you, I do feel proud of myself that for the journey that I've been, and now how I am able to communicate freely without my family having to double guess, what does she want and how do we do it? We talk about it. And there are no expectations. My son yesterday, he asked me, "Oh, what cake would you like?" And I said, "Oh, I would really like a caramel cake."
Oh.
He said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go after school. I will go and get that." I said, "Oh, you're gonna get the cake? Great."
Right? So there's no, it's a group effort now, because you're celebrating as a team, rather than waiting so anxiously in the corners as who's gonna greet me happy birthday, what's gonna happen, your happiness is now built from within, and it's not from coming from outside, and then you just wait like that little kid who has no agency to do anything. But if we realize that we can update parts of ourselves and say, hey, you're no longer in that, we're old enough, we can do whatever, we have the resources, and then that parts of you can heal, can move forward and say, okay, I guess we can do that now, right? Because sometimes the light bulb hits and it's like, oh my God, I don't have to keep doing that. Like, I don't have to wait anymore, or I don't have to carry that pain anymore, like a crown. It's my birthday. It's time to suffer. It's time to cry. It's time to sulk. It's time to pity party. And when we reverse that, it's a new experience, and it's a new beginning.
I love that. Create your birthday, your day, your way.
Exactly. So I wanted to share like this special ritual that I have, and I hope that maybe some people will get something out of this. Through a lot of work, meditation and therapy, years of therapy and coaching, I was able to come back to myself and really redefine how I would like my birthdays to be or celebrated. So now I look at birthdays are a special time for not just for me, but also when my kids' birthdays are coming up, I get really excited because again, I am correcting those moments where I wasn't wanted. And so now it seems like I overcompensate and making my kids feel like they're wanted. And I keep reminding them that they're special. I love them. We wanted them in this world. But now through process of, trial and errors and meditation and mindfulness practices, I was able to become more intentional. So now birthdays are special to me because they mean a new beginning and allow space for, again, introspection. I use this time to create what I called birthday resolution. So similar to what we do for New Year's resolution, but I anchor mine on my birthday because it means something more than declaring a wish and commitment that we want to do for ourselves for that year. It's more than that. Because during this time, I look back at what happened in the past year, like similar to yours, what I learned, what I want to change or stop doing, and what I want to keep doing to help me start the year with fresh attitude and excitement. So it's not a source of burden anymore. So I get excited about the coming year. So this process actually has made my life more meaningful and intentional. So one of the key practices is writing a letter to myself. So at the end of every month, I write myself a love letter. I reflect on important events, lessons learned, and personal growth for that particular month. So by the time my birthday arrives, I have about 12 letters to open and read. And this ritual has given me a complete picture of my whole year and reminding me of both the challenges that I have overcome and the successes that I have reached. So about a week or two before my birthday, I write this special love letter to myself. This one is a long one. And this letter is guided by a set of reflective questions. So one of the questions that I ask is, what were the most influential people that have come into my life that in the past year, and how did they impact me? The second one is what broke my heart. And I'm not talking about relationship. This is all from a whole gamut of regrets, disappointments, losses, or missed opportunities from the past year. And then the third one is, was I able, this is a hard one for me because this is an ongoing process. Was I able to reconnect with parts of myself that I had buried deep and have given them space to be heard, loved, witnessed, and healed? And the fourth one,
Powerful.
yes, it is.
Maybe we should stay there for a bit because that's just so powerful.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. And then the fourth question is, what is my wish for my future self? Right. And because I feel like that's my year pass is passing that baton to the future self. So I have this communication or just a conversation of what I wish for you for the things that I know now. What do I wish for you, right? And the last one is, how do I want to celebrate and honor myself on this birthday? And how can I carry that self-love throughout the year? So for each of these questions, I reflect in the most important lessons I've learned and think about how I can move forward with openness, self-compassion, and acceptance. So that's my ritual every year. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. It's almost like a gift you are giving to me for my birthday, because I would love to use some of those for myself. I love the love letters,
Yeah.
the one that you write every month and the one that you write on your birthday.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful practice. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'm sure the audience are going to love that as well.
Yeah. So, this is my process. And I think it's important to start looking at your own process and see. And if you want to, incorporate some of these strategies or tips that or my process to you, is see if it resonate with you and see if it actually is something that you want to incorporate in your way of celebrating your birthday. Because
Yeah.
I think we heal, parts of ourselves when we sit for a moment and pause and reflect on what happened and then decide how you want to move forward. So these questions are quite powerful for me anyway. Um, and so it covers most of the things that we often forget, because when we are acknowledging both the good and the bad, it allows us to see how much we've grown. It's a chance to give ourselves grace and compassion. Like, that's the thing that we miss quite a bit, is that when we make mistakes, sometimes we don't give ourselves grace and compassion, and to reignite our passion for dreams. Go back to when you were like a kid, like no one was judging, like your creativity is powerful. Go back and see what you want to reignite this year and moving forward, and making intentional choices. You can create a fulfilling life one moment at a time, right? It's never too late to start living a life that brings you joy, satisfaction. You have to embrace your birthday as a celebration of you, your journey, and the endless possibilities ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So that signifies the day you came, you were born, you came on earth, and yeah, and what you were created for. A
Yeah.
blank slate, but now you can make that journey beautiful and create your own life. I love that. And yeah, month of May, birthday celebration for us. But whenever you're celebrating your birthday, make sure you make it a special one for yourself.
What's your wish for your future self?
My wish for the future self, I haven't reflected on that yet, but reflecting on my past year, I know the past year has really humbled me.
Mm.
So my future self would be to still keep that humbleness that you experienced in the past year, but building the confidence, the growth. I can see my growth edges, and it's to build that confidence and be who you are without any regrets.
How, if your inner child is watching you now, what would it tell you?
My inner child is excited. I can almost see her so happy, so excited, because for a long time she cried. And now she is, I see her happy
Mm.
and excited of learning new things, doing new things, because for a long time, she never did things for herself, always expected someone else to do it.
Mm.
She feels proud of me for now taking that action and doing little things for myself.
Oh, I love that. And what would your future self tell you?
My future self is telling me, I love you for for who you have become and who you will become.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful future. So keep going.
Yeah. What's the 80-year-old you advice?
Oh, my 80-year-old, I never went that far. And 80, that's a number. My 80-year-old tells me that she is smiling. She is smiling, she is laughing. She has her family surrounded her. And yeah, she looks back and she's just happy to be there with her family.
What?
And
Go ahead.
again, no regrets. She has no regrets. Whatever life has brought to her, she is happy to be surrounded by the people she loves.
That's beautiful. I love this quote. I kept it for a long time. It says, there's only two people you should aim to make proud of your life. It's the 8-year-old you and the 80-year-old you. And if you can make those two proud, you have lived a good life.
Wow, that's impactful.
When we think about, gosh, how would my 80-year-old reflect on this, on my decision, on how whatever decisions you make. And again, you come back to your own intuition and your heart and decide, I'm going to make my 80-year-old proud of me for making this decision. And then I'm going to make my 8-year-old, who's my inner child, who's healing, to be proud of me that I have now taken care of myself, that we no longer have to remain where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for asking those questions and sharing that, because that's another tool you've shared with 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 the audience so they can see their journey from starting from 8 till 80.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
And what does your 80-year-old tell you?
Yeah, my 80-year-old will tell me, you did your best. You remained true to your heart. It's not always easy. And there was a lot of bumps along the way, but you kept going. And I'm so proud for believing in yourself, to never letting anyone define who you are, and that you listen to your heart. Yeah. My 8-year-old told me during my meditation, I think when she finally let go, during my meditation, I gave her a cake. I gave her the cake she didn't get growing up. And we sat down together in a meadow, and then we were doing a picnic together, and I gave her the cake that she's always wanted as a child. And I said to her, you don't have to wait anymore. You can come with me and grow. And we blew the cake together this year. And she said to me, I feel better. I'm ready to grow up. And I tuck her in my heart. And it feels really good. And she said, I'm really proud of you for doing the work so that I could heal.
Thanks for sharing that. It really touched my heart. And yeah, thank you for taking us to that meadow. where you celebrated with little Diana
Yeah.
and blew the cake together.
Yeah. And I hope, I hope you do the sameness of healing that little child in you, because they're all in us. They belong with us throughout a lifetime.
So beautiful. Thank you.
We wish everyone a happy birthday if you're celebrating today when you're watching this. And for those who have not, and their birthdays are coming up, I hope you consider to look at it in a different way and celebrate it in the way that is meaningful to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Happy birthday. And yeah, enjoy your every single birthday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.